Hello and welcome to another edition of Citizen Herald. This is a program where we take up issues which have been underlined and highlighted and flagged by citizens. These are issues of public concern. These are not issues that we have editorially selected to talk or discuss. So therefore, this is actually coming from the heart of the people of Goa, from the various corners of Goa. So therefore, we have in our Herald, the Voice of Goa, a column which appears on Monday which is called Citizen Herald, where citizens from various parts of Goa and various walks of life, they come and highlight the issues which concern their particular surroundings. Now, in one of these articles that were written, we again have Citizen Arwin Mesquita with us. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So, once again we have Arwin Mesquita with us from Colva, and he has raised this issue about trees on the Colva Margao road. Now, Goa, if you look at from the point of view of history, especially if you look at some of the old movies that were made in Goa, especially the Konkani movies, you will find that many of the towns and the villages of Goa are lined with a number of trees. And I do not know whether in those days, because there were fewer motorized vehicles, people used to walk, and therefore they were very, very conscious about trees lining most of the avenues. Now, you have highlighted this issue about the Colva Margao main road.
Yeah.
And you have pointed out that a number of these trees which were lining this Colva Margao road were mercilessly chopped. So, basically what is the problem?
Again, to put it into perspective, now there is development on one side, okay, and then there is environment on the other side. Now, when this particular road was being planned years back, there were pros and cons. Some are saying it will increase accidents, some are saying it will create accidents, and I don't want to go into that.
Yeah.
But one thing is a fact, is that development should be sustainable, and it should, if at all it is, it should enhance the area. Now, for example, if you take for example Bhutan, some of my friends went there, and you'll be amazed how they are preserving the environment. They're not cutting through hills, trees, no trees. They're working around it.
Okay.
I don't want to say we want to go complete their model. What I'm trying to say is that if there's a development like this, can we lessen the pain? And to go a step ahead, can we make it even better than it was before? Let's put it that way, in a positive light.
So you're saying that we have to do a mental rethinking of the way we look at development, because it should not be either environment or development.
Yes.
So you have to think through this.
Of course, there will always be pros and cons, but I think a median approach will be acceptable. Right. Now, on this particular highway, now I will talk about the highway, but I also want to address a bigger problem in Goa later. Now, this highway, and it's somewhere in October 2016, there was an article that came in Herald only, where the local Kolvanka said, listen, you're cutting on trees, okay, can you do 5 trees for every 1 tree? That would enhance it, number one. Can you, not allow all the illegalities to come out, the scrap yards, the stalls, all that. So there were genuine concerns raised that time, 2016. We are what now, 7 years. It is still the same. Now, one might say they are basics, yes, we need to plant trees. Now, forget we also saying that. The government of India has said it. Now, there is someone just shared with me recently, there's a green highway policy, I think with this government only. And the same policy they have used at the global level to show that India is becoming sustainable. And I've been following the World Climate Change Summit, what India says, as much as I can. And what I've seen, there are great presentations. And one of the presentation, part of it was this highway policy. We're making big highways, but we're also doing this. What is this? Putting trees on either side, maintaining flowers, making it more sustainable, less pollution, all that. Now, that is all on a document. Right? But it's not there in reality. That it should have been done on this road.
Yeah.
Colva particularly is a premier destination for tourists. Will it not enhance tourism?
Yeah.
Will it not make more people come there? Will it not make it more premium?
Yeah.
Right? Is it difficult to do? Of course not. It just requires little effort. If you don't want to do it, you can always contract those trees and those things to some private parties as a not permanent basis to maintain it.
Yeah.
This stretch of road is a beautiful stretch in the terms of you want to drive.
Yeah.
And by doing this, it will reduce the pollution. I mean, that's common sense actually. I have to say it. Birds will increase. The shade will be there. It will be more cooler. I remember before, when the road was smaller, I used to go up and down. It was pleasant.
Yeah.
You know, it was all greenery there. Now it looks like you're driving in Saudi Arabia or Kuwait or Dubai on those roads.
Yeah.
It's totally like a desert.
Yeah, for kilometers together there are no trees.
Yes.
So now the problem, the consequence of this development, so-called development, is that the trees have been cut. Now, what is the consequence, simple commonsensical consequence of this cutting of trees?
See, in terms of cutting them, see, maybe they say I have to cut them because I have to.
No, what is the consequence? What has happened as a result of?
See, there are two. There's a micro consequence and a macro consequence. The micro consequence is that it will already increase the heating of the area.
Yeah.
Okay. The
So this is the main thing, because you know wherever, even for that matter, even in the towns, that is, you see Mapsa, you see Panjim, there is cutting of trees. So the first casualty is the rise in temperature.
Clear. Now, for example, I have some friends in Colva and they maintain a lot of greenery. If you just walk in the house, it's 2 degrees cooler. There's a house, right?
Okay.
So imagine what this stretch could do.
Yeah.
So first is the heating.
Yeah.
Second is the pollution. Now the pollution is unseen poison.
Yeah.
People are breathing up and down, right?
Yeah.
Cancer rates are increasing.
Yeah.
Respiratory rates are increasing. From where? What are we doing to mitigate that?
Yeah.
The number 3 is the environment. Now we're killing ecosystems. Why are we not using the land that we have, the trees that we have, to start developing it?
Yeah.
Right. That's the third part. So this, and the fourth part is the consequence of the premiumness. Now, if you want, as I said, the government is promoting premium, Goa as a premium location world over.
Yeah.
This will help it, no?
Yeah.
So these are the economic opportunity, I would say.
And it also improves the beauty you are suggesting.
The beauty of the place, right?
Yeah.
Now, for example, that Para road, which is people are taking shots and all that. Of course, the Panchayat has put some tax or something.
Yeah.
I'm not saying people should do that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, you can create these beautiful avenues,
Yeah.
right? And then there is outside. You see, whenever you create something, right? In my opinion, it enhances the outside, and some people around. Oh, it's beautiful. Let me also keep it beautiful. It just it's contagious.
So it can also act as an example to other towns in order to plant trees along this avenue.
Yes.
So one is that Goa can be enhanced as a destination for movie shoots.
Goa has movie shoots. You got marriages. There are very few places, first in India, like that, because also the culture plays a role, right? And you can go beyond that. I mean, I know a lot of people have stopped coming here because the way we are maintaining our infrastructure.
Yeah.
We have actually shooed them away.
Yeah.
The premium tourists or the companies.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the foreign ones.
Yeah.
Foreign exchange.
Yeah. So especially since we have this international film festival, this idea of having avenues with trees on either side, having a lot of shade, lowering the temperature and making the place beautiful would be ideal for a place like Goa, because you are promoting a film festival which has for a very long time been part of the Goa scene. Annually they have this festival in Goa. Goa has become the permanent venue.
Yeah.
But the infrastructure has to be developed in such a way, or the ambience has to be developed in such a way, that lot of the movie culture comes to Goa, and also the film shoots take place in Goa.
Yes.
So this is just one avenue. Maybe there are a lot of areas even in Panjim or Mapsa or Margao which can be developed to this effect.
Yeah, see, for me, yes, I'm a resident of Colva. I'm concerned about this, but I'm also concerned about trees around the thing. And we are talking about full of Goa where this can happen.
Yeah.
And the irony is most of our politicians, they travel outside, they see these places.
Yeah.
Now if you go, for example, to Dubai,
Yeah.
you go to some other Qatar, they're deserts, but you can see them planting this area in greenery,
Yeah.
right? And forget them. If you go to the go to the Western nations. So I would think politicians who are traveling outside, at least learn from that.
Yeah.
That's one part of it. The second part of it is when we say we have to develop, just to come back to my point, the government already has a plan, a great plan.
Yeah.
If you read it, I have it with me.
Yeah. So they basically are saying that they should implement it on the
Implement
ground.
it. They have a plan of planting, replanting, and most importantly, maintenance. You can always plant. Who's going to maintain those
Yeah.
things? There was a RTI done from 2018 to 2022. 50,000-60,000 plants were done. There's no record on them whether they're alive also.
Okay. This is where is this?
It was on RTI, so in Goa, across
And
Goa, a
in
lot of
Goa.
trees. Because
Okay.
they say, no, every tree we cut down, we are planting X amount of trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll plant it.
Yeah.
Who's going to maintain those trees?
Yeah.
So that is also important. So this particular point is in that plan.
Yeah.
And I liked it because it is there.
Yeah.
But the question is that the government should follow it,
Yeah.
the plan. There's another part of it is that I mean, as I was going to this tree issue, there's another so-called, it's a compensation for afforestation.
Yeah.
Okay, planning authority. So
Yeah.
the government of India gives funds to states to compensate against afforestation. So there's resource also there.
Yeah.
What I was shocked to know is from 2017 to 22,
Yeah.
this government has enough time, you know, only 21% of that, of 243 crores approximately, has been used. So what are they doing with the rest?
Okay.
So the resources are there,
Yeah.
money is there,
Yeah.
the plan is there. It's obvious what is missing.
Yeah.
It's the will and the interest to do something.
Yeah.
म्हजें नांव सातुनीन आनी ज्या जाग्यार हांव उबो आसा तो मुंगुल टू कोलवा मेन रोड आनी आतां तुमकां हांव ह्या रोडाच्या फाटल्यान दाखयता कशे परी हांगा वतान परपरतात ते लोक. This road is a stretch of about 3 kilometers starting from Mungularten Kolva. आनी फाटीं 8 वर्सां फाटीं हे रोडार जितले रूख आशिल्ले ते कातरून उडयल्ले गव्हर्मेंटान ब्रिक्स समिटाक लागून आनी त्या उपरांतसून ह्या रस्त्या जितली शेड आसली ती काबार जावन गेली. देर इज नो शेड ऑन दीस रोड. गव्हर्मेंट हॅज नॉट प्लांटेड एनीथिंग आफ्टर दॅट वन. सो दीस रोड इज बींग वायडन, बट स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम मुंगुल टील कोलवा दीस रोड इज कंप्लीटली लायक ए डेजर्ट. म्हाका गव्हर्मेंटा लागीं की गव्हर्मेंटान ह्या जाग्यार थोडे तरी दोनी सायडींनी लोकांक सावळेक लागून रूख रोवचे. आतां आमकां दिसती पडटा कितले लोक हांगा सायकलीन वेता, कोण चलोन वेता. हांगा मातशी तरी शेड ना, कांयच ना. सगळें इट इज लायक ए ओपन डेजर्ट. तर इट वूड हॅव बीन बेटर इफ गव्हर्मेंट हॅव टेकन द इनिशिएटीव टू प्लांट ट्रीज हियर ऑन बोथ सायड्स ऑफ द रोड बिलो द शोल्डर्स सो दॅट people get shade, the birds, they dwell here, they make their nest, and also the trees purifies the air. So I request the concerned authorities in the government to take a note of this and make necessary arrangements to at least plant some trees on both sides of the road so that we can get shade, and it also will beautify this highway. Thank you.
Now, by way of solutions, now the idea is to replace these trees. Now, with regard to this particular stretch, that is, from Kolva to Margao, what has been I mean, was this issue discussed at the planning stage or after the completion of the road? Was this issue discussed at any time, for example, at the Gram Sabha or something like that these trees need to be replaced? Who has to replace them, and in what duration of time should they be replaced?
See, to be fair, it might have been discussed. I'm not aware of those things. What I'm aware about with my discussion with some of the NGOs and activists in Kolva, and referring to an article which I saw in 2016 when the ex-MLA, MLA before that was in power, there was a call out, a big call out, saying that listen, first there was a call out not to do the highway.
Okay.
That's one thing. The second thing is on the highway, replace the trees.
Okay.
So it was discussed.
Yeah.
It was discussed to put the trees, and 1:5 was the ratio on the thing.
Okay.
So it was not now, it was 7 years back.
So if you cut one tree, you have to plant five
Five
more.
times.
5 more.
Now, the thing is also, now from 7 years, I mean, I drive up the road a lot of times, and people could argue, how you maintain a tree, is too big, is too this. Fine, talk about it, find a solution, do fruit bearing trees on the side, flower bearing trees on either side. Now, if you cannot maintain, which I have nervousness on the government,
Yeah.
sorry to say, maintaining basic infrastructure, give out on contract to somebody. They don't take the land, they just, how we see, gardens being done in many places. So that's one part of it. The other part is, this was asked for in 2016.
Yeah.
7 years have passed now.
Yeah.
7 years? 7 years.
Yeah. 7.
Now, there's no plan come out yet.
Yeah.
Now, I overheard recently one PWD official was saying we're going to put medians in terms of some plants on the side. What mediums? How effective is going to be? If it's like how it's done at Colva beach, I would rather not have it.
Yeah.
Because they put there, nobody's watering them, it's dead, they look like shrubs.
Yeah.
So, put in a plan. So, there has to be interest from it, right? So, coming to your point, yes, it was called out big time 2016. And there's no visibility as of now what is happening. We're hearing here and there certain officials saying this and that. If there it is, another thing is, what I would like to request the government, now I know it was earlier government, earlier minister, but as a government now, at least be transparent to people. Put out a note saying, okay, this is a goal. Excite the people. You have spent so much money on the road. It is in your interest to excite. No, don't simply say, I built a road.
Yeah.
I did the road. This is what plan we're going to do. Excite the people. People will be with you. But don't keep them in suspense.
Yeah.
So it's like energy behind it. Like for example, when other Atal Setu and the Zuari Bridge, what they did, go and kick selfies there.
Yeah.
That is not a way you build energy around it, no? And this is one way they can do it.
Now, it just comes to my mind that the MLAs of Goa have been given the area development fund, just like the MP LED. The MLAs also have been given a fund. Would it be a good thing for the panchayat or for citizens to approach the MLA to utilize part of this fund in order to develop this, especially this Colva Margao road with trees?
See, I have sent my same points to the MLA, and he was positive about it. Now, of course, being busy, I have not heard any outcome. In the meantime, I had to meet you.
Yeah.
And probably he could, I don't know, probably he could use his fund, but also to what extent, I'm not sure. He could use maybe his funds to one part of it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether this comes under separate domain of the national highways.
Or he could utilize it for the fund for afforestation.
It could be a suggestion.
Yeah.
It is a good idea, and of course I will. It has been. He's aware of things. People have told him, and he was supposed to meet some of the ministers. I'm not sure what is the update on that.
Yeah.
But that could be a good way.
Now, for the benefit of our viewers, you have taken a video, and one of your citizens from Colva, he has shot this video and put out his points. So our viewers can have a look at that.
Yeah.
So basically, by way of solutions, you suggest that we should replace the trees which have been cut and grow trees on either side, and the trees. You also pointed in your letter that this thing about cutting trees in one state and planting in another state is quite quaint.
Yeah. Yeah. So now I'm coming to my macro.
Yeah.
This is only about the Colva Margao road. Now, overall, I was not very happy with the number of trees being cut. I hear thousands of trees here, thousands of trees there, and then I hear this, read this funny thing. It's a funny but sad, very sad to say. Okay, Goa government has got permission to grow in Madhya Pradesh to replace. Then you better cut down all the trees and grow in somewhere else, Rajasthan or somewhere. That is not a point.
Yeah.
Where we want people to go there, or we want to sustain here.
Yeah.
So this is very illogical, I found. That should be done away with.
Yeah.
Manage it here.
Yeah.
The other part of that same another letter which I had written was the heritage trees.
Yeah.
Heritage is heritage, hundreds of years old, way before you, me, my grandfather, everybody. They have so much of wealth in them, right? Which we haven't even started to understand yet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we're cutting them down.
Yeah.
You go to Panjim, if I may go to Panjim. Heritage trees are being cut down for smart city.
Yeah.
I call it a dumb city project.
Yeah.
If that is being done, I've seen in Japan, in many places, they work around these trees.
Seriously.
They work around. They have a way of taking it out. If they can't take it out, they will go around. And here we're just chopping them off.
Yeah.
Now that heritage takes, now it's like cutting our own history.
Yeah.
Going to our monuments and temples and churches and all that, cutting them down. So the policy of and the thing is, there always can be a way, but yet I think the authorities in charge, unfortunately, looking for shortcuts.
Yeah.
Short term.
Yeah.
I want to get it done. How it affects, they don't bother.
Yeah.
And the other point I would like to add is, a lot of countries like in Scandinavia, if you look at Norway, Sweden, they have come up with zero tolerance to tree cutting. Now, how they're doing, they must be here, but basically they don't cut any trees. Why don't we adopt a similar thing? At least if you're cutting, you replace them, or work around them.
Yeah. Yeah, it is indeed very sad, because even just recently, I think last week, there was a huge tamarind tree which was near a heritage pillar, and this tree is also to be considered a heritage tree because it must have taken hundreds of years for it to grow. Just because of the smart city road widening at Thongka, this tree has been mercilessly cut, and this was done without any fanfare, and therefore the activists reached late and could not save this tree. On an earlier occasion, I think in 2016, this tree had been saved by the Goa Heritage Action Group. And this time they got wind of it a little late, and therefore by that time the contractor had already cut. But this is indeed very sad and very tragic and catastrophic, because the microclimate around that place changes completely, because we have seen in Panjim itself, the old city of Panjim had various trees, and you identified that area along with the trees and the shade, where people would gather together under the tree and talk after having a chai at one of the local shops. Now, indeed, that charm is being lost. That charm is being lost. And in the name of the smart city development, the roads are being broadened, the parking spaces have been increased. But unfortunately, there is no thought or sensitivity about having trees or planting new trees in the city of Panjim, which is one of the most beautiful cities in Asia.
Correct. See, also coming to a point on this cutting on heritage tree, I did not know it was saved some years back. I think there was also a devious tactic here. And I remember the Kolwale trees, if you remember, in Kolwale, those huge trees are there.
In the middle of
and the PW minister, chief minister, gave assurance nothing be done. And the late Wendell Rodrigues also was fighting for that.
Yeah.
And suddenly they go and chop it.
Yeah.
Same thing has happened here. So they are aware that there will be efforts. It's not that they don't know. But what I'm saying, there seems to be a lot of care of this heritage site, and something people need to start waking up to.
Yeah.
Because if we keep on cutting down these, we will get the consequences.
Yeah.
In Panjim is the most polluted, one of those polluted cities in which it came out recently. So what are we waiting for?
Yeah.
So politicians don't care. I think the right now people should start putting pressure on them.
Yeah. So basically what we are saying is that development should not be concretization or road widening or building of footpaths, but within the matrix of development one has to have trees and environment also included, so that it retains the identity. Panjim has its identity not only because of the heritage buildings of the Portuguese era, or not only because of the footpaths and roads and avenues. Panjim has an identity and a heritage also because of the trees that made up the city of Panjim. So similarly in Margao, you would have certain places where trees are there, and that tree is part of the identity and atmosphere of that small area, because trees also create microclimate. They breathe in the carbon dioxide, they clean the air, and therefore they also add beauty to the city. So this was another issue that we have taken up on Citizen Herald, a different issue from the ones which we have tackled earlier, saying that cities should have trees as part of their landscape. And in particular, this time we discuss about the trees on the Colva Margao road. Now it is left to the village panchayat, to the state government and to the PWD, because the job of the PWD is not only to build the roads but also to beautify the roads which they build. Similarly, the state government has the overall mandate of developing highways and also improving the environment for the sustainability of the planet and for the generations to come. We thank Arwin Mesquita for once again coming on our program Citizen Herald and for being on our show.
Thank you, Dr. Freddy.
So, I hope that you have enjoyed this program, this edition of Citizen Herald. Hope to see you again on Herald TV.